What is up, film geeks? My name is Trevor and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the New Mutants. I am very excited to talk about it. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this down below in the comments. Did you love it? Did you hate it? How do you feel about the Rotten Tomatoes score? It's in the low 20s. Do you think that's right or do you think that's a little too low? Let me know all that down below in the comments and let's get into the New Mutants. So, I honestly didn't hate this film. I didn't love it. I didn't really even like it, but I didn't hate it. I'm kind of just right in the middle. Like, it was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. It's things we've seen many times before, but something about it is drawing me to it that I just can't say I hated it. And this film works really well, and with this characters, like their chemistry isn't bad, but they don't have much of a script to work with, which is kind of the biggest problem here. You have Maisie Williams, you have Anna Taylor-Joy, you have lots of great young actors, and you have a guy from Stranger Things, I believe he's from. I'm unfamiliar with his name, but the concept and the source material that they had to work with just wasn't the best, but these characters' chemistry worked really well, and I just wanted more from these characters. The first 40 to 45 minutes of this film is definitely the build-up leading up to something that's going to happen later inside the film, but the first 40 minutes kind of the build-up, and these characters don't really like each other too much, and we really get to see that, so they did a really good job portraying that. Also, these characters seemed really interesting. They just weren't fleshed out enough. There was no really character development, and I wanted more character development. I wanted more from these characters. I wanted to see exactly who they were, and their names are kind of forgettable. I don't really remember any of these characters' names except for the lead character, Danny. He's kind of a big source here inside of this film. No spoilers here, trying to keep it kind of vague, but this film would have worked better if it was longer. It was an hour 40, and when it ended, my girlfriend and I were both like, that's it? Like, that's the whole movie? Like, I could have used at least 25 more minutes, and I could have used the first 40 minutes to be sped up a little bit. And there's no real action in the first two-thirds of this film. The last third has like supposed to be a big cinematic climax third act, and it's awesome. And I thought the third act was pretty good. I know lots of other people differ, but I thought it was pretty good for how mediocre the film felt. I thought the third act was pretty dang badass, and the visual effects are really hit or miss here. I mean, sometimes you're like, okay, it doesn't look bad, but other times you're like, that looks pretty bad. And they try to throw some humor in here, and I'm an easy laugh. If a movie throws a joke in here, I'm most likely going to laugh. So I laughed a couple times. I thought the humor they added on was pretty funny with one of the characters. I think his name was Birdo. He was one of the funnier characters inside of the film, but like I said before, it just didn't flesh out our characters enough, and it kind of just led to the beginning of the movie just being really uninteresting and unsatisfying, and the kind of really is marketed like a horror movie, and I love horror movies, and everyone's talking about there wasn't much horror inside of this film, which there wasn't, and that's kind of a bummer. If you go back to one of the early trailers for the New Mutants, you're like, this looks like terrifying, and I was like so for a terrifying movie, but it wasn't. And the horror aspects was maybe 10 minutes inside of the film because these characters are starting to see their worst fears come to life, which is something we've seen before, but it's a really interesting concept, and if it's done right, I really enjoy it. And here, I felt it just wasn't done right. And again, I think that runtime, when I saw it was only about an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, I said, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to be good for a comic book movie that's like a horror comic book genre. And it wasn't. It wasn't enough. I wanted more. I didn't hate this movie. I didn't love it. I barely liked it. It was okay. And if it goes in Disney Plus, I will go and revisit it. But I didn't think it was awful. And if you are a Marvel fan and you like the X-Men universe, I think you should check it out. Get your own opinion, form your own opinion for it. But like, if you're just the moviegoer who didn't really have much interest in this film, don't go see it. Don't waste your time. It's like, I can recommend it if you're a hardcore Marvel fan, but if you're just a regular moviegoer who loves to see movies, I think it's safe bet you can skip out on this one. But I had some enjoyment here. Most of my YouTube buddies did not. Wasn't the best movie. Wasn't the worst movie. Was not the worst I've seen this year, but definitely nowhere near the best. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the New Mutants down below in the comments. What did you guys think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you like me? Did you think it was just okay? Let me know all that down below in the comments. I am doing a spoiler discussion with my good buddy Chris over on his channel, Film Stock. That should be up tomorrow. Very excited to talk all the little minor details, all the little spoilers going inside this film. Very excited for all of it. Thank you guys for watching. Do me a favor and go see a movie. I'll see you guys next time.